Captain, what are you talking about? It appears to be a blackout. Everything is all black.
We ready for y'all. We ready. We ready. We ready.
Yo. It's your boy Jamar, Top Shelf Sports Talk. My famous clap. Back. Week 5, Eagles versus Rams. Now, I didn't get on last week or after the Commanders game to discuss that game that went into overtime that probably shouldn't have. So, um, I was going back and forth with my brother Jason. If you're watching, man, listen, I keep telling you, hey mom, good morning. Good seeing you over the week. Thank you for coming. I got my mug. I didn't bring it over here. I'm gonna shout you out, but I do have my there you go, mom. That's for you. She made that for me, y'all. If y'all need anything made, y'all got any brands y'all want to put out there, uh, give my mom a shout. She good. Um, but with that said, that last week game, Eagles versus the Commanders going into overtime. I was talking to Jason. We text just about every game, and we talk about what's going on, what we're seeing, and I kept telling him Brian Johnson is got to be. I'm not gonna say he's the worst because he's new. He's his first time calling plays, and he's getting used to things, getting used to his team, getting used to his players being in the right positions and right time. Um, but I think that he overcomplicates the game, meaning like Washington was giving up 130 yards per for in rushing. Why not run the ball with Swift, Gainwell, and Penny? I don't get it. I don't even understand why Penny's not playing. Somebody, if y'all know why he not playing, please comment on why he's not playing because it doesn't make no sense to me. You keep running these tush push, when you got a big bruising back, you're putting wear and tear on Jalen Hurts' body. And now you see how the NFL feels about that tush push or the brotherly shove, however you want to call it. You see that they don't like that. So like, why not, you know, uh, why not run it as much as you are? You're gonna have to run it every so often, but if you got a big bruising back in Rashard Penny and he's a scratch today because I think he got some type of illness, but and you got one of the best offensive lines in the league, try to run that a little bit more. So, Brian Johnson, before you go into this game today, if you're listening, please, please stop overcomplicating the game. Give Let the defense tell you what they're going to do, and you dictate your play calling off of that. You know what I mean? If they can't stop the run, then run the ball until they prove to they can stop it. If they can stop it, then when they stop the run, pass the ball. It's simple, man. Like it was. I even heard one of the analysts last week was saying like how he didn't run the ball at not one time in the overtime, and it's like, dude, come on, man, what are you doing? Like you're not. You're making it harder than it has to be. So, in my opinion, I think he needs to run that ball a little bit more, keep the defense honest, make sure that you're not putting wear and tear on your quarterback's body, and just call better plays. So last week, that Commanders game overall, in my opinion, it stressed us out a little bit more than we had to be. You know, um, we should have been we should have won that game handily. The defense didn't play too good, but Darius Slay was getting cooked. You know, what's up, Wani? Thank you for joining. Darius Slay was getting cooked. Um, Bradbury got cooked a couple times. We got home a little bit, in that game. I wish we'd have got home a little bit more. Hassan he finally got down there to that quarterback. Um, so I mean, it was a game that in past weeks you've seen the defense play good and the offense played pretty bad, and then last week I think the offense played okay or pretty good, and the defense played bad. So going into this week 5 matchup with the Rams, like this team is playing some inspired football. Like you definitely can't play around with a team like this because I mean at the end of the day, the way they look at the game is that they don't have nothing to lose. So if they out there playing, they're gonna play for the names on the back of their jersey. They trying to show people that they for real. So I mean, look at that receiver. What's his name? Nakua. I mean, like he's setting an NFL record. They get what you call it back, Cooper Cup back. So, I mean, this is gonna be a tough team, and they're a passing team. I got some stats for you guys. They're a passing team. Let's see. Let me give y'all their passing offensive passing stats. I gotta shuffle through my papers. I had it written down. All right, I get back to that, but because I got my stuff shuffled around and stuff like that. But they're a good passing team. They got Cooper Cup, Puka Nakua. They got some good players, man, and they're young. Cooper Cup is old. Matthew Stafford is obviously old, and he's not a runner. So we should be able to get some pressure on them, as far as being able to get to the quarterback and get some sacks. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I have to take this call real quick. This is my job. Sorry, I'm on call. Um, but it should be a quick second. Sorry about that. I appreciate y'all for staying around. As I'm on call at work, so and of course they would call right before I go on my show. That's always a bummer. But anyway, let's go do something real quick. I know I was talking to y'all about their passing offense and how they're I think they're like top 10 in passing offense because that guy Puka been he been showing up since Cooper Cup was hurt, but Cooper Cup is back. So, that's even gonna get better. And Tyler Higbee, he's been doing pretty good. But we got some notable injuries on defense. Pardon the interruption, Jay Stupid. Hey man, work calls. You at work now, so you know how that goes. Um, but we got some notable injuries on defense. Fletcher's out. Fletcher's got a bad back. Sidney Brown is still out. Sidney Brown got a ankle, I think. Marlon too. Well, Marlon's a rotating player, so I'm not really too mad at that. You know what I mean? But we still need help. You know what I mean? We got some injuries on defense, some significant injuries on defense, and we're still unsure about our secondary. With a passing offense like that, I mean, we got to be sure on our offense and our defense and make sure we're making tackles and stops on them because Matthew Stafford can sling the ball. I don't know if you guys think he's old and he can't play no more, but he can sling the ball, and he will continue to sling that ball as long as he got wide receivers that are open. And the way we played last week against Terry McLaurin and Dotson and all those guys, we didn't look good at all. I know we got injuries, but we gotta be. I say, I guess we got if we can get pressure on the quarterback, we get home on the quarterback a little bit more. I think we'll be a lot better. But because you kind of hide those imperfections in your secondary if you get home on your quarterback a little bit more because they don't have time to make a good throw, and that's what you're trying to create. But you got to get home in order for that to work. If not, you leave your cornerbacks on the island, which last week they was getting toasted. They was getting roasted a lot on that island last week. So you got to make sure you be able to get pressure on the quarterback. Matthew Stafford, he's no running quarterback, but he's not really going to sit back there long enough for you to get to him, and he'll throw the ball away, or he'll get the ball out there. But you just got to get that pressure on him, make errant throws. So with that being said, let's talk about the run game because like I said last week, DeAndre Swift. I mean, he's averaging 6 yards a carry, and I don't really think they used him a lot in the second half because I guess they was trying to get Kenny Gainwell going. And here's my question to y'all: if Jason, whoever out here that want to answer this question, this is my question to y'all. I know when the Eagles are putting their running backs in the game, they put running backs in the game based off the plays that the plays that they're calling. But my question to you is that you got Gainwell and you got Swift. Swift has been averaging 6 yards a carry. Gainwell is somewhere around like 3 or 4 yards a carry. Is the loyalty that you have to Gainwell eventually going to hurt your run game period? Because, and I know Jason, you're going to come on here and say, no, they're trying to keep, Swift from getting hurt. So they got to mix it up a little bit. And I understand that. But I think at times too, like it's like you have a running back in a rhythm and he's good. He's running good plays. Why take him out for as long as you've been taking him out? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, um, he, he's your running back. Like he's your number one for a reason. I think you should. I think in those situations where if you get down the stretch and it's you're up by 2 touchdowns, or they're not gonna see you mixing it, in and out because that's at those times you want to be able to say, well, I'm not going, put DeAndre Swift in a bad situation. I'm going to make sure I preserve him and keep him from getting injured. But I think the loyalty that they have to Gainwell is hurting them in the long run. I think that's going to kill them. So tell me if y'all feel the same way about that as I do, because I just don't see them. I see them using Gainwell a little bit too much and play in situations where I think they should go with Swift. Your future back. Excuse me. But y'all tell me how y'all feel about that. Um, Again, I feel like the Eagles in this situation here going against the Rams, Jalen Hurts got to make sure I mean he had a good game last week. He put the ball where it needed to be. He didn't have any interceptions. He's only going in this game with 3 interceptions. Matthew Stafford got 5 interceptions on a year. So, you just hope that he keeps putting you in a good situation. You said for years the Eagles have been running back by committee, even when Westbrook at his prime, they're still in a committee. Yeah, they're in a committee situation, but I think at times where you should have Swift in the game, you got Gainwell in the game, and he's not as productive as Swift when it comes to it. You know what I mean? Like, so what I'm saying is, like, I think because remember if you pay attention, they came into the game or the year saying that Gainwell was their number one back, and you clearly saw that game too when he got hurt that Swift was should have been the number one back. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think the loyalty they have to Gainwell because he had that stretch down the playoffs last year, and in the Super Bowl was the reason why they want to keep making sure they go to him and getting him. I don't think that he shouldn't play. I just think that they're giving him too much at the wrong times. You know what I mean? Like I think they're they're using him when they shouldn't use him. Because when if you're up by two touchdowns, by all means run Gainwell all day long. Run Boston Scott, run Rashard Penny. But if it's a tight game and you need first downs and you need big chunk plays, you got to go Swift because he's been getting that for you all year long since he's been in that starting lineup. He's getting you chunk plays every time. So I think you got to go Swift in that situation. I could be wrong, but honestly, I just think that when you got that loyalty to the game, well, I think that's going to hurt you. You know what I mean? The Eagles kind of do that a lot with their running back situations. They kind of key on somebody who they felt as though was been there through their struggle or been there through their uprising and like, oh, he's the guy. but then you go out and sign other guys and you don't use them, and then when you finally do use them, you see how valuable they are to the team. So that's all I'm saying, Jay. Like I'm just thinking that it's just too much. It's too much loyalty to Gainwell when it should be more like if you're gonna do a balanced attack, like do a balanced attack. If you see Gainwell struggling and he's not getting off the blocks like he needs to, and Swift is put Swift back in that game and let him run the ball. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel about it. But anyway, back to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts versus Matthew Stafford. I Stafford numbers are, he got 1,200 yards on the year already. He got 62% completion ratio, 3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. 78.1% QB rating. He's been throwing the ball, is what he's saying. Is what these stats are saying. He's throwing the ball. He got 1,229 yards on the year. He's throwing the ball, and his receivers. They said Puka. He's been catching the ball. Matthew Stafford been throwing the ball. Puka been catching the ball. He's what do you got? 12.8 yards at average on the carry on the run. I mean, not on the run, on the catch. I'm trying to get the right stats for you guys. He got 39 receptions on the year, 501 yards, 12.8 yards average, and 1 TD. He got his TD last week in that win over the Colts. So like Matthew Stafford is showing you with his stats they're throwing the ball. They're not so this team is like a good pass team. They don't care at running. They got a good young running back in Kyron Williams, but they're passing the ball, and that's what we struggle at most. We struggle at defending the pass. I mean, like we're like 27th in the league in pass defense. So if you really think about it, if you really think about the numbers and things I just told you guys, that sets up for Matthew Stafford throwing the ball all day long. That's a easy. Matthew Stafford is going to throw the ball. You know what I mean? And he has receivers. He's getting Cooper Kupp back. He has Puka. He has Tyler Higbee. He's got some players out there that can catch that ball. So if the Eagles' defensive line is not getting home, and hopefully, Jalen Carter can step up in the place of Fletch, even though he's, not. I'm not saying that like he hasn't been balling all year because he has. I'm saying if he can go out there and wreak havoc today, it makes that passing game for the Rams struggle a little bit more because Matthew Stafford has pressure on him. So, we need that run, that pass, that we need that defense to get home on Matthew Stafford, get him to turn the ball over or force errant throws and not complete to his receivers. And we need our linebackers as well to cover too because Tyler Higbee is having a big year too, or a big start to the season, I should say. He's not a big year. He's got 196 yards, 12.3 yards average. He hasn't gotten an end zone, but 16 receptions. But if you look at our linebackers, we got to be able to cover, because if they don't get it over the top, they're just going to go into the bottom and get, the slot receiver or Tyler Higbee. And that can hurt us. So, our passing defense overall has to be on point this game in particular because you're going against Matthew Stafford and that Los Angeles Rams offense, So with that being said, man, my keys to victory to the game today against the Rams. Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Brian Johnson, do not complicate this game. Do not do it. Do not pass the ball all game long. Run it. I know you got Aaron Donald up there, so he's a big dude. Their defensive line is not as good as they've been over the years. But run the ball until they stop it, then you pass. Yeah, Morrow been blitzing good, but his coverage been a little suspect. Yeah, Tyler Higbee is going to eat that up, Jay. Tyler Higbee will eat that up. He's a good tight end, man. Like, so he has to, they have to make sure they cover. They have to make sure they cover in this game. This ain't the '80s. They just don't do that no more. But do what? What you talking about? Um, what? Run the ball? Yeah, 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 yeah. I figured that's what run the ball. Yeah, they don't run the ball no more. But that's the if you think about it, Jay, that's the problem. That is the problem. Run the ball. Why not run it? They can't. I mean, if you getting 6 yards of carry, 7 yards of carry, why not run that ball? Why not get into it and run that ball? Tell me why that because it's not the '80s or because it's not how Smash Mouth football used to be that, that you got to pass the ball. You got cornerbacks that are just as athletic as receivers. You know what I mean? Like, it's run the ball, make it easier for your team. You know what I mean? Tell me why it's so hard for them to do that. I want somebody to come on here and tell me why it's so hard for the Eagles to run the ball. Why is it so? And you see, Jonathan Taylor got paid. So what you think they're going to do? They're going to run that ball. We ain't talking about the coach, but I'm just saying like teams with good running backs is going to run that ball. They're going to use their running back to set up the play action for the pass game. That is what you do. You're making it easier for your team and for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you keep passing. You pass 100 times a game, and you start turning the ball over. Then what? Then you put your team in a bad position. So Brian Johnson, I know Jay, you said it ain't the '80s. We gotta give up on that, or not give up on it, but we can't game plan like that. I hear you. I don't agree with it because I think it makes the game harder especially for the Eagles. I mean, like look at Christian McCaffrey. He's running the ball all over the place, and they calling it. Like listen, man, you got to run that ball, man. You're putting teams away early when you start running that ball and scoring touchdowns off of that run. You already know they can't stop the swole Batman and the slim Batman. You know they can't stop them. So run that ball. Make it easier for your team. Don't overcomplicate the game. They give you something, take it. That's it. So back to my keys to the game. You know, um, Run the ball. Brian Johnson was one. Defense is two. As far as the defensive line getting home today and keeping the pressure off, or keeping the pressure on Matthew Stafford and off of your defensive backs. Fast Batman today. Fast Batman. You talking about Devontae Smith? Yeah, I think Devontae Smith is going to have a good game. I think AJ is going to have a good game too. I think overall, I want a balanced attack from the offense. I want to be able to put points up on this team, put them away early, get their hopes dashed early, so that we can kind of, do some of the things that we might want to try and experiment on. I mean, let me tell you something. This ain't gonna be an easy game. So when I say try and experiment, I'm just saying like, if you put this team away early and you take the hopes out of them early, it's easier for you to do some of the things that you want to try out there. Like it's just that simple, but you got to do it. No Quez Watkins. Oh no, Quez Watkins is fast Batman. Shaking my head. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, cause yeah, 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 yeah. My bad. I even just said that. Devontae Slim Batman. Oh okay, and Quez is playing today, so it'll be nice to see him stretch that defense out too, man. It'd be nice to see him get involved in the game. They got the guy Alamadou, Zacchaeus a touchdown, so I like to see Quez get his spot back and make some noise out there. So those are my keys to the game. Defensive line getting home on Matthew Stafford, creating pressure so he can throw errant throws and keep some of the pressure off our cornerbacks and run the ball. Those are my two keys to victory today. Run the ball and defensive line. I think everything else will handle itself. Everything else will you know, do what we normally see it do. So tell me y'all keys to the game. Tell me tell me y'all score prediction. My score prediction, and I know I just said that I wanted to be uh, kind of a game where it's a blowout where we're looking at, designing or trying plays that we normally wouldn't try. But I got this in a close one. This is going to be a close game. This is going to be one of them games that you're gonna be biting your nails come down to the fourth quarter. You might even be throwing, stuff around the house. Please don't. Don't break no TVs and like that. But this is gonna be a tight game, man. And I don't see it being I see it being a tight game for no other reason than play calling, offensive play calling. That is the only reason why I see it being a tight game. You know, other than that, like if play calling was more secure and more better, I think the Eagles take this game and they run with it because the Rams are they're a rebuilding team. They're not a team that's going to be competing for Super Bowl at the end of the season. You know, at least I mean, you never know because, like I said, this team is playing inspired football. But this right now is a team that you should be able to win. You should be able to beat. You should be able to, because you're a way better talented team than they are. So if play calling goes the way we think it should go, the way I think it should go, when you're running the ball, you're passing the ball, you got a good balance between run and pass. I think we win this game no problem. What I'm worried about more about our defense than offense. I am too, Jay. That's what I'm saying. Like, because this is a pass heavy team. Matthew Stafford is going to throw that ball all over the field. Our cornerbacks and cornerbacks and safeties right now, being as though we got a lot of injuries, aren't looking the best. So if we can't get pressure on Matthew Stafford to keep him, you know, uncomfortable, then like we're gonna struggle. Defense will struggle. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. That's why I said defensive line was one of my keys to the game. Between injuries and the way our secondary got shredded, shredded last week by a second year quarterback. Yeah, I mean like Terry McLaurin, Dotson, um, I forget the other guy's name, but yo, they were throwing the ball. I mean that last touchdown should have never happened. To go into overtime should have never happened. I should have never happened at all. I mean, don't get it wrong, we shouldn't have been in a position to go into overtime, but that last touchdown was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. I can't believe they just let him score like that. Like, what's going on? Like, so our secondary and our safeties are not good right now. So we got to be able to get pressure up front. We got to use our strengths. We got to use our defensive line to get pressure up front, so we can be able to put some pressure on Matthew Stafford. And that way, hopefully, if that happens, we can alleviate some pressure. They can play a little bit more freely and maybe get a couple interceptions on this guy because when Matthew Stafford's under pressure, he throws that ball. He throws that ball up, and it could be up for grabs. But you got to get the pressure on him. That's the main thing. Get that pressure on him. So that's my keys to the game. You know what I mean? I also want to say, give y'all my player of the game. I think my player of the game is going to be DeAndre Swift. I think DeAndre will get back in the triple digits running, with 100. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go 100 and 125, one TD. So if I'm telling you that, that means that Brian Johnson has finally listened to me, and he ran that ball until they stopped him. But by the time they realized that DeAndre Swift was running all over him, he's got 100 and something, 125 yards, one touchdown, and he's is lights out. And obviously, at that point, they're going to start trying to key on DeAndre Swift for the running game. Period. So then they're going to say, you know, let's stop the run and go. Then the pass open up, which swole Batman, fast Batman, and slim Batman, they go crazy. So it's just that simple. And I like to see Dallas Goddard get involved too. I like to see Goddard get involved and see what he got. See, Jay just said it. We be on the same page. We here. Goddard breakout game, my player of the game. I listen. I'm not arguing that. I would love to see Goddard player of the game. That means they got him involved early and often, man. And that's a good sign once you can get Goddard involved because he's a weapon. He's an underutilized weapon on that team. That if you get him going, it really keeps that defense at bay. Like you can do what you want. You know what I mean? Because you already got the threat of the RPO. You got DeAndre Swift. You got Gainwell back there. You got Swole Batman. You got Slim Batman. You got Fast Batman. Like you got players on that offense that if you call the right plays, like it'd be tough on the defense to stop. So that's what I'm saying. Like you gotta run that ball and open all those possibilities up. You gotta suck the defense in. Once you suck them in, you go over the top on them. And then once they bounce, they pull back out, then you run the ball again, suck them back in. Then you go like, pause. Sorry. But you gotta do that though. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if you don't have a balanced attack, then teams are definitely, especially a team with a good defense, they'll definitely just key on your strengths and stop you. I don't think they have the linebackers and safety to stop him. No, they don't. Goddard should really, he should really be, he should really be doing. They should really focus on that attack, that balanced attack, because outside of Aaron Donald, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, really sure about their defense. I did have their defensive rankings. Let me look. I'm gonna look that up while I'm talking to y'all. But I know. Oh no, their defense is ninth in the league, and ours is 16th. So they got a pretty good defense. So I'm sorry about that, but they can't. If we're hitting on all cylinders, no team can really stop our offense because we got too many players out there, too many assets out there on offense to be able to stop. Like it's teams are not built right now to stop the attack that we can give, and that's why everybody's kind of confused on the play calling because it's like you got players and you got teams out you got players out there that can't stop that the other teams can't stop. So why not if you mix it up and have a balanced attack, then you it's easier for you to win games. You could put points up on these teams because they can't stop you. Brian Johnson, I'm not gonna say it again. Balanced attack. Sorry for screaming if I'm screaming in your ear. But so with that said, Jason got, Dallas Goddard being his player of the game. I got score of 24-21 Eagles, tight game. Still another game that we kind of, nail bite at the end, and you know, it's going to be a tough one, guys. So please, please be ready for that. So with that being said, let's move on. I want to go through the week 5 lineup. As we saw Thursday night, for those of you who watched, the Commanders got trashed by Chicago. And in all honesty, I thought Commanders would win that game. They got trashed so bad that Magic Johnson told him like he don't see no effort, no enthusiasm. He just, like what are y'all doing out there? Um, and so at the end of the day, like, Chicago gets his first win. I think that Chicago is sitting, me and my man Smitty. I don't know if you're on Smitty, but if you're on, like we was talking in the behind the scenes about how Chicago is treating Justin Fields, I'm sorry, and they don't give him no support. His support factor or his support is not there. Like the coaches don't support him. They just pretty much throw him out there and make it seem like it's his fault. And that ain't he got talent. Now, Jermaine Jones, he's on the show with Shady. I had posted this a little while ago how he was talking about Justin Jefferson was better. I mean, Justin Fields is better than Jalen Hurts. And and it was my other guy, Tyrone Brown Jr., on here saying he believes that Justin Fields is better than Jalen Hurts as far as his arm strength, his athleticism, and things like that. And I'm like, I can see because he said that I don't know if y'all Jay you can tell me if you think that Jalen Hurts is more of a Cam Newton type player, or like tell me what your view is when it comes to Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields. I don't agree with it. I just think that Jalen Hurts obviously he's got more talent, he's got more support. I think though overall though he's a more talented player. You know what I mean? He's a more efficient quarterback. You know what I mean? And Justin Fields got weapons this year. I mean, don't get me wrong. They just traded Chase Claypool to the Dolphins, but he wasn't playing. But I mean, you seen last week with DJ Moorhead. You know, so and I think Justin Fields has 11 touchdowns on the year, where Jalen Hurts only got like what? Let's see, Jalen Hurts only got like 3, which is I mean it's pedestrian. No, 5 touchdowns. Sorry, he got 5 touchdowns on the year. Um, so I don't agree with the Justin Fields is better than Jalen Hurts, but that's debatable. We can talk about it and see what y'all feel. All right, Jay, you still out there? We're doing picks right now in what is it, London? Um, you got the Bills and the Jaguars, which right now the the Bills are losing after a dominant performance against the Miami Dolphins last week. The Bills look to be struggling right now. I'm not really watching the game. I'm keeping up with the score, but they're down 11-7. I mean, they can come back. A touchdown easily wins the game. You know what I mean? So I'm not counting the Bills out, but they look to be struggling against the Jaguars in London. So um, I'm not going to go against the Bills. I think the Bills are a better team. Um, so me personally, I'm going Bills on that game. Anybody want to take a pick? I don't care if you know football, you don't know football. I see 5 people in the chat. Say something, comment on who you believe is going to win that game. Let's talk about it because at the end of the day, we all on here because you support me. You support what I'm doing. Let's talk football, even if you don't know what you're talking about. I'm pretty sure my wife is on here. You need to pick a team. My mom, pick a team. Wani, you pick a team. Whoever else is in the background, pick a team. Um, Jason comes in and says he's going for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ah, Jay, you always going against the grain. I got to do our scores from last week, Jay. So I'm gonna try to post that later on today or tomorrow. But to see how much you losing to me by. But we'll talk about it. You going to Jacksonville too, Mom? Mom, Joanna, we didn't get the 49ers yet. What are you talking about? You said me too. I don't know if you're going with the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Buffalo Bills. Just tell me the team name. And Joanna, you're a little too early, but I like that pick. You said yes, so I'm guessing you're going to. I don't know what team. Just, I guess I'm gonna put down Jacksonville. Say yes again, because I don't know what you keep saying. My man E, thanks for checking in. E, I appreciate the support. E, damn, that's my man from Wilton Street. Shout out 400 block of Wilton Street. My man E. E, you got a contractor business. Plug your contractor business on here, so if people in the Philadelphia area need your services, they can call you. But he going Jags for the win. Uncle Steve is going Bills. Thanks for checking in, Uncle Steve. My mom said Jacksonville. Okay, all right. So, all right, let's go. Next game, Houston at Atlanta. Houston at Atlanta. That's a tough game. Houston is playing some good football. They beat the brakes off of Pittsburgh last week. So, my man Jeff, if you watching Jeff, they beat the brakes off of Pittsburgh last week. So, I mean, that was a dominant performance. Atlanta is struggling. Atlanta still got some teams. A good, they still got some players in that team. Joanna comes in and says, Atlanta. I'm going. Let's see. Joanna says Atlanta. My mom says ATL. Um, Uncle Steve says Atlanta. Jason says Houston. Jason says Houston. I'm going. I'm going. Here we go. Y'all ready? I'm going Houston. I think Houston get it done. Even though I like Atlanta's squad, they got good defense. Their offense ain't come together yet. Their quarterback is terrible, but I mean he's not terrible, but um he's not the best. So I gotta go Houston too. Um so all right, going to the next game. We're going Carolina at Detroit. Now I wish my little cousin Brian, I don't know if he's on here, but he's a Carolina fan. I'm pretty sure he go Carolina all day. But me personally, Carolina still they're still young, they're still rebuilding. I'm going, me personally, I'm going um, Detroit. I'm going Detroit. Jason going Detroit. My mom's going Carolina. Um, Uncle Steve is going Detroit. All right. I don't know. Detroit got a they tough. Their defense is especially tough. They got a couple injuries on their in their safety position. Our old teammate CJGJ is hurt. I don't know if that plays a factor in it, but Detroit does have a good team. Aiden Hutchinson is playing some good football, man. Like he's getting after that quarterback. So Bryce Young, you're a little young, but get ready for that second year pass rusher to be all in your face all game. So we only got one person picking. My mom picking Carolina. Um, Jason got Detroit. I got Detroit, and Uncle Steve has Detroit. Um, Next game, Tennessee at Indianapolis. Now, Jay is I don't know if Jonathan Taylor is playing today. I'm not sure if he's playing today because I know he's back off an injury. He signed his 3-year extension or 4-year extension. But if he's playing today, even if he's not playing, my mom says Indy. I'm going with my mom, Indy. Me, Jay, mom, Indy. I'm going with Indy. I think Indy wins that. Uncle Steve goes with Tennessee. Uncle Steve, you shocking me. I thought you would go with Indy on that one. Jason go with Indy. Um, my man E go with he goes with Indy. Yeah, I ain't get your Carolina, Detroit pick or Houston and Atlanta. So if you comment those, let me know what you pick on those teams. Um, Jason says Indy. I got you down for Indy. So Uncle Steve picks Tennessee. So now that we're going to if Jonathan Taylor is playing though, Indy will win. Even if he's not playing, I think Indy's going to win that. Um, but he's going to be a beast in that game. Now we getting ready to get to Uncle Steve's team, and he's going to pick with his heart. I know he is. But you may have to use your brain on this one, Uncle Steve. The next game is New York Giants. Okay, he got Atlanta he got Atlanta and Detroit. Okay, all right. So I got you caught up, E. So the next game, Uncle Steve, New York Giants at the Miami Dolphins. They at Miami. Miami just got beat by the Buffalo Bills pretty bad. This is the NFL. You can only play the teams that's in front of you, and everybody's in the league for a reason. So, with that being said, I'm going with the Miami Dolphins. Joanna said, "Oh, sorry." Jason says Miami. Joanna says New York. She don't know, but um, J J got Miami. I got Miami. E got Miami. Um, Uncle Steve went with Miami. Um, Mom, did you pick? I don't know if you picked mine, but we all went Miami. Joanna went with New York. You tripping? New York because the odds are. Listen, my mom breaking it down. New York because the odds are in the favor and they need to win. She's laughing though. So my mom went New York. My mom and Joanna New York. Man, listen, mom and Joanna, they're gonna get the brakes beat off of them. Miami's not gonna lose 2 games in a row. They're way too fast for that defense. Um, they they it might be another Dallas Giants score 40 to nothing. Um, Jonathan Taylor's playing, but on snap count. Okay, so he's playing. So that's still gonna be a tough team. New Orleans at the Patriots. Now, I'm gonna say this about the Patriots. Even though we kind of struggled against them in Week 1, I don't think that the Patriots are a good team. I almost think that you know, don't get it wrong. He's the evil genius. Bill Belichick might be on his way out. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. We could talk about it. I don't think the old school ways are working anymore. Uncle Steve and Jason said, New Orleans Saints. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm going New Orleans Saints too. Um, I don't know. That Pats. Oh, he said Pats winning an upset today. Okay, E. You got the Pats. I don't know, E. Like that Bill Belichick way might be over, man. We've seen that Tom Brady went on and won a Super Bowl with the Bucks. So I wonder if it was the player and not the system. I don't know. We could talk about it. But that New England, run with Bill Belichick might be a rat. So that we gotta keep you gotta keep your eye out on that, man. So next game, Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh got the break speed off of them last week by Houston. Baltimore has been playing some good football. Um, this is kind of Joanna says Pittsburgh. I don't think I don't think Pittsburgh can beat them. Pittsburgh got some players. My mom says Pats. She just visited the Beantown. Um, so she gave them luck. Okay. My mom was up here on the East Coast, y'all. That's why I was a little off last week and not putting up stuff because, we were hanging out with Mom Dukes. Appreciate your mom. Um, but Uncle Steve says Baltimore. Um, Joanna says Pittsburgh. Jason says Ravens. I'm going Ravens. Um, and he says B more. Uh, my mom, I got you. My mom says B more. So I don't know Pittsburgh, man. They got some players. They got some players out there. I don't know why they not. I guess that offensive coordinator, which everybody's calling out saying he's trash, is not being the best coordinator that he could be or call the right plays that he can call. I feel your pain, Pittsburgh. I feel like that with Brian Johnson. I'm sorry. I'm gonna leave you alone, Brian, because I know you'll get it together. All right, next game. All right, the game of the day. We know who that is. Philadelphia at the Rams. I already know my pick. I know half of y'all pick on here. Um, it's going to be a tough game. It's not going to be an easy game to win. Especially based off of how we've been playing. Now, this is a team that we should be handily if we're playing the right, calling the right plays and doing what we're supposed to do. We should beat them. Uncle Steve went with the Rams. I feel you, Uncle Steve. It's not going to be easy for us to win this, but we should win it, no problem. But Brian Johnson, again, if you're listening to the game, you got to run that ball. You got to mix it up. You got to keep the defense on their heels. E went the Eagles. I already knew you went the Eagles. E. Um, Joanna go with the Eagles. Okay. My mom Eagles. I knew that. Jason, I already knew you went the Eagles. Um, but Brian Johnson, man, you can't make this game harder than what it has to be. You gotta run that ball. Something happened out in the the Jacksonville game. They said it's delayed. I don't know if y'all watching the game. It's delayed. Still 11-7. I think it's in the third quarter, 11-7. So something must have happened. I don't know if they got bad weather or something out there, but it just I don't know. It came across delayed. Jason said, "What?" I'm Jay, but Jay, Jay. This is what I got for you, Jay. Cut it out. I hope you heard that. Cut it out, Jay. You're going Rams. Whatever. I already knew that. Eagles all day. Uncle Steve said Rams. We all say the Eagles except Uncle Steve. All right. But Brian Johnson, I'm going to say it one more time. Run that ball. Mix it up. So, next game. Oh, man. Cincinnati at Arizona. Woo. Cincinnati been stinking. They gave Joe Burrow that contract, and he ain't been doing nothing. I don't know if it's that calf injury. I don't know what is going on with Joe Burrow, but he don't look like nothing. I think Jamar Chase had 0 catches last week. Like, what's going on? Oh no, now the Jacksonville game is back on. Um, my mom is picking AZ only because she lives out there. Jason is picking the Cardinals too. Okay. Oh shoot. Uncle Steve is Cincinnati. Cincinnati. And me, I'm picking Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati comes back this week. I think Cincinnati has a bounce back game. I think Jamar Chase goes off today. I think Joe Burrow starts to silence the haters starting right now, week 5. Because at the end of the day, if they do lose this game, it's over. It's over for that playoff run. It's gonna be hard for them. Because at the end of the day, like you lose that, you're gonna lose a lot of confidence from that team, man. So you got to make sure you play today. You know what I mean? He agreed with me, like yo, you know what I mean. If you talking about the Eagles or with Cincinnati, E, I'm going for the upset. I think the Bengals about to fall apart. I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna fall apart, Jay. They definitely not playing like the way that we normally seen them playing with Jamar Chase and um Joe Burrow. I think that contact that it was Cincy agree with me. It was Cincy like I think they come back today. I don't think they falling apart. Um, so let's go to the next game. New York Jets at Denver Broncos. Denver got to win. Denver got to win. When it was a comeback. They got to win. Um, I still don't believe in them. I don't think it's all Russell Wilson's fault. I, I just don't I don't believe in him. So me, I'm going to Jets. Uncle Steve is going to Jets. Um, I just think that team ego the Jets. I think um I think that team is just I don't know if it's I don't know if it's the coaching styles now that these young guys are not, you know, 'cause Sean Payton at one point in time was a good coach. He's not terrible now. I just don't know if he has the right offensive line to protect Russ. He has receivers. He doesn't have a running back really. Um, he says the Jets. I got you E on the Jets, right? Um, my mom says the Broncos. Oh man, mom, you got the Broncos. They not looking good. Oh, Jay says the Broncos too. I don't know. I don't think they get this one done. I think the Jets finally get that win under Zach Wilson that they've been looking for this year. I'm not saying that that's going to be the way that they get back to getting in the playoffs or anything like that. I just think that they get that win that they need for Zach Wilson's confidence to be able to at least play some inspired football for the rest of the season. So I'm going Jets. Uncle Steve going Jets. E going Jets. My mom went Denver. Jason went Denver. So we'll see how that pans out. I just think Denver is not good enough. I don't know, and that's just me. Um, Kansas City at Minnesota. That's easy for me. I'm going Kansas City, even though I hate Kansas City. I'm going Kansas City. I don't hate them. I think that I feel some type of way. Yeah, Uncle Steve. Jets defense will crush Russell. Yeah, because they don't have no protection for Russell. So I think they're gonna be it's gonna be getting home for them all day. So I don't know. My mom, you know, picks KC. Um, I Minnesota to me is all they got is Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson. That's it. Outside of that, what do you see? Jay going Kansas City. Um, I just don't. There, I I think Kirk Cousins might wind up being traded, and I think he might wind up being traded to the Jets because the Jets need a quarterback. Especially if the Jets can win today, ego KC. Um, if the Jets win today, I think that they're going to look at it and say, well, we still have hope to get into the playoffs to be able to see Aaron Rodgers come back. So they might trade for Kirk Cousins because I think he's on an aspiring contract. So they might trade for him. I think that could happen if they win today. They show me something coming back to beat the Bears. The Bears ain't nothing. They are who we thought they were. They trash. No, the Bears could have a good team. They just don't. The coaching just not there. I don't know what's up with the coaching. They're not right. So what I mean. That's the reason why the Bears are looking the way they looking. The Bears are terrible looking, man. So nobody picked Minnesota, which is understandable. They're not a good team at all. Next game, America's most hated. I hate them. I can't stand them. Dallas Cowgirls at the 49ers. Now, Joanna said earlier she picking the 49ers. Um, I'm picking the 49ers. I don't want to say it because I hate the way they whine and moan all day long about how we beat them in the Super Bowl and all that stuff. Like I don't get it. Uncle Steve got the Chiefs. Like I don't understand 49er fans. Like I don't understand like I said last week, if your quarterback got hurt in a if say if Jalen got hurt in that championship in the NFC championship game and we lost, we could not use that excuse of we our quarterback wasn't playing, so that's why we lost. But all their players, all their fans, their players, everybody keeps saying the same thing about that team. I just don't. I hate the 49ers, but I'm picking them because they're a better team than the Dallas Cowboys, I believe. Um, Jay said look better than us versus the Commanders. Who you talking about? Jay? Oh, the Chicago Bears. Yeah, they did. They did. So my mom go 49ers. I'm going 49ers. Um, Jason going 49ers. E went 49ers. So we all picking the 49ers, and a lot of it probably has to do with the fact that we hate the cowgirls. I'm calling them cowgirls. We hate them. They stunk. They stink. They're terrible. But they're good this year. They got a good defense. Like that's the only team in the NFC East I believe is going to challenge us for anything going to the Super Bowl. Besides the 49ers, is the Cowboys. So yeah, I got you down for the Niners, but I can't stand the Cowboys. I can't stand the 49ers. Those are two, and I never used to feel like that way against the Niners until they started crying about losing. So that's just crazy to me. So Monday night, Green Bay at the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders. Who y'all got? Me. Sorry about that. Me. I'm going. I think Garoppolo is back playing. That's a hard one. Joanna says Green Bay. Um. Uh. My mom says Raiders. Um. Jason says Green Bay. Um. Yeah. Jason said Garoppolo is back. Uncle Steve says Green Bay. And E says the Raiders. Me, I think I'm going Raiders with that one too. I'm going Raiders with that one too. Garoppolo and I think Garoppolo and Devontae Adams. I think they do it. They get it done this week against that Green Bay team. So I'm going Raiders as well. Hey, we at that point of the show. We at that hour mark. Hey, I want to thank everybody who came on, supported me, commented. I really appreciate you being a part of the show today. Mom, Uncle Steve, Jason, Joanna, all y'all being a part of the show. I appreciate the love and the support that y'all been giving me, man. It's been a lot. I'm still trying to get better at it. If you guys, if you can, when y'all get on, share the page, share the live when y'all can, so we can get on. And like I said, if you get a chance, post your, post your business up here so people can use your services if if you still got it going. But I appreciate all the love and the support. Again, here at Top Shelf Sports Talk, we don't just talk sports while having a drink. We have a drink while talking sports. Hold up. Jay said Vegas is it's a nice place to visit, not football. Yo, we was out Vegas this summer. Vegas is hot, but it is nice. And that stadium, we rode past the stadium. The stadium is nice, man. That stadium is nice. If if the Raiders can get a quarterback, I think they'll be good. Garoppolo is all right, but I don't think he's gonna get it done. But again, I ain't gonna hold you guys. I know you guys gotta get ready for the game. 4:25 start. Get your grills going. Get your orders in or your bottles ready. Appreciate the love and support. I'm gonna do this for the Eagles. I need everybody to comment on the Eagles real quick. You know, EAGLES Eagles. Y'all have a good day. Enjoy the game.